Gently,
Boom.
we are live.
Boom.
Art is air punching the camera.
I was air punching the North Korean light bulb.
Way to go, Bart. Hey, hi from Germany.
Everybody out there in Whiskey Land, I'm Scott.
I'm Bart.
We
and
are
this is Jason.
Yep, Jason is joining us all the way from Germany, courtesy the interwebs.
Way to go, interwebs. I love it.
We got 3 German whiskeys that you arranged for us to get. One is the Glen Els. We've got the Slurs and the Finch barrel proof. Bart, what are we going to do?
We're going to test it.
I just love that.
The first couple live streams we did, we'd be talking and stuff, and I kind of forget the normal flow of things.
We're still learning.
Yeah, we'd be like 10 minutes in, and someone
and then
would comment,
hey, ain't been no test it. You're robbing us of the test.
Well, now we got it now, don't we?
Now, Jason, paint the picture. Where in Germany are you?
If you take a look at the map of Germany, way up to the north, Hamburg, about another 45 minutes northwest of that. So another hour and a half, I'm in Denmark.
Wow.
So we have the Baltic Sea and we have the North Sea right in between where we live.
Wow. Very cool. What are you doing?
We were locked up. We've been locked on, Jason.
Oh, we were locked.
I saw that as well. It says, wait a second, I'm here the whole time.
When I did the whole punch screen and the test it, I got my mouth real close to the camera. It was not good to look at. You guys missed that.
Now it's switching back and forth. Very good.
Yeah, I turned
You'd locked it when we were loading in with you.
We was well, what happened was we get jealous of other people's whiskey collections, and Jason's got this wall of whiskey behind him.
Yes.
So I had to lock the picture on him so we could admire
That's right.
the whiskey.
There was a lot of coveting. We were coveting the whiskey.
Yeah, I think that's like the 10th commandment, right? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's whiskey.
That's right. Yes. That should be it's like whatever number that is, 0.5. It's specific to the whiskey.
I love that. That's good. Why not?
That's perfect.
Hey, before we get started with the whiskey, and we're going to let you what happened was your brother is in Dallas, and you actually came to Dallas in, was it July?
Well, it's not my brother. It's my father and my uncle.
Oh, your father and your uncle. Okay.
And now my grandpa also lives there.
And so once you came to the States, you brought these bottles, and then you shipped them or arranged for us to get them from there.
Let's say we arranged for you to get them. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Arranged for us to get these nice whiskeys. But tell us a little bit about your channel. I know you do a German whiskey review, and you've done a handful in English. But kind of just walk us through your channel a little bit.
All right, so about a year ago, I started reviewing in German, and there were about 10, 15 different guys actually doing Scotch reviews online. So I said, let's do something a little bit more off the wall. And since I'm an American here over in Germany, I said, why don't I start with bourbon? And so I started doing these bourbon reviews, and I found out there's a lot of different bourbons. So I've done bourbons, Irish and Canadian. I started doing about once a day I publish, which means I do about 2 or 3 times a week, 3 videos in the evening, which is about the max which you should do. And then I post them, and I have over 450 videos almost online already. It's 445 or something like that. And so I started, before I came to the States in July, posting in English. And the only things I post are rare and exotic videos of whiskeys, which I cannot find anyplace else, which means usually if I try it, you won't find it. At least not in the States.
I love it. That's perfect. So explaining that, though, so when did you move to Germany, or travel to Germany? You're there on business? I mean, if you don't want to go into that, that's fine, too.
No problem, no problem. I came over 1988, so many, many moons ago, almost 30 years now, as an exchange student right after high school. I stayed, I met a German woman, got married, studied here, and then worked. And since then, I've been here. So that's basically how I managed to arrive in Germany.
Beautiful. Now, when I was in high school, we had a German, not at our house, but there was a German foreign exchange student that came and was going to my school. And it was funny, he cut class all the time. And I said, why are you cutting class? He says, well, your American school doesn't even count. I'm here for one reason. I said, what's that? And he said, in Germany.
Whoops, you're breaking up a little bit here.
Yeah. And he said he had to declare his 2 majors college style, and it was German history and English. And by coming to the States for a year, he knew he was going to become fluent. So that was the only value. So he cut class all the time.
Okay, well, what I do over here now is I basically teach English as a second language at universities. So I have a lot of students that do that.
Very cool. Yeah, that was his main, because his English was at first, it was, it was all the rote English. What he really wanted was like, awesome and what's up, man, and all this stuff. So
yeah, sometimes we have the problems with students going off to Australia. They come back and it's like, let's teach you proper English now.
Perfect.
We've had some comments coming in on our audio and video on our end, which is showing good, and we've got good connection with you.
Right.
This happened one other time. The people that were watching, we were fine, and it recorded fine, but there was just some interruption going with YouTube. And I don't know, maybe possibly that's what's happening again.
What are they picking up, like a reverb or something?
No, just blurred vision on us, and then audio and video were freezing.
With the dummies.
But I don't think it's on our end. I think this happened one other time, and it was basically YouTube's deal because it recorded fine and it played back fine. I think some people were getting some interference.
Gotcha.
Somewhere along the line.
Okay. Aquavite just said seems a little bit better. That's good. Who knows? Choke bandwidth could be. Scott, could you talk for like a minute? I need to plug in something, which I really forgot to do. I just noticed. And in 20 minutes,
Bart,
my laptop's going to die.
Bart can talk.
Bart, you can always talk. I'm sure about that. So I just need to go over there and plug that in.
Yeah, if you need a stunt talker, basically you've come to the right place because without any urging at all, I could go on for an easy minute. So one thing, when Jason gets back, I will ask him, and maybe he doesn't play board games, but a lot of Germans are into the Spieling. Spieling is gaming, all right? I'm not sure if they put the ing in there, but Spiel means game. Matter of fact, in Essen, Germany, they have a huge game convention every year.
That's a great story.
On fill-in time.
I'm going to go ahead and pour the Glen Els.
What? You're going to bring it back over to whiskey?
43% alcohol in this one. I know that Jason had said we would start with this one. So
now I do want to mention, it looks like, do you want to mention anything about the neck area?
Oh, if anybody sees it.
Right. And I noticed
I did have to have a little surgery this week.
I was sure when I saw the first picture what you had added was a neck tattoo. Those are in fashion right now. And I believe the neck tattoo, if you got it there, would say like Bart's Biatch.
Well, we are going to have to, we're going to have to get together and record some reviews. So we're going to see a couple. I got it pretty good. I told the doctor to make it look like a frag wound.
Right. Yeah.
And I might get Uzi 9mm tattooed.
Could have been like a whiskey fight you were in and they broke a glass and went at you. Somebody was mad that you dropped a ton batch 3 in the driveway and they were getting even. That's what I think it was. We're still feeling. Oh, he's back. He's back. I'll hush now.
No audio though. You muted something. Jason is back. So.
Okay. See, what he wants me to do is continue talking about games or spiel.
Still no audio.
All right. So he's added something in. We're looking here.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go to his settings and choose.
That's right. As the stunt talker, I can continue to go without a wire. I've got it.
Still nothing from Jason.
All right, so you've poured this. You've talked about the damage. Hold on. See, we can see him, but they can't.
Oh, that's true. They can't see him.
They can't see him. He's getting frustrated with the fact that he's muted himself somehow.
Now he has muted himself on the tab.
Now maybe he's muting and unmuting. That's all right. I'm filling time. One thing I am going to ask Jason is his gaming, if he gets into gaming at all, because it's huge in Germany, especially family games. See if he's ever gone to Essen. But Scott, you'll keep me on track so I don't go too far into the.
Well, no, he's still trying to get back in here. I don't know what you're still muted, Jason. But keep messing around with your settings. You got the mic muted or something somewhere.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the whiskey, and then obviously when Jason gets his audio dialed in, we'll learn more from him on this too. All right, it looks like he's dropping and refreshing and coming back in clean. While he's gone, is there anything you want to say bad about him?
Yeah.
I mean, we can nope. He's moved.
Hey.
Oh, is he back? See, now
So-
we were.
There we go.
Oh, we were talking about you while you were
Okay,
gone.
now I should be back, right?
Yes.
Good, but I still can't see me. Wow.
No, we got you. Well, yeah, we can see you.
Yeah,
here.
we got you. Is it Is it flipping back to him? People watching.
Who knows? Yeah, I see myself now. Good. All right, gotcha.
Hey, the one glass man says Guten Tag.
Oh, very good. Guten Tag. So you speak some German, don't you, Bart?
You know, not enough, not even close. My great grandfather came over from, I think when he was 12 or 13, because he said he didn't want to fight for the Kaiser.
Okay, very good. So your father, your grandfather, who was it again?
That was my great grandfather.
Great grandfather. Okay, yeah.
Landed in Ellis Island when he was 12 or 13. I found out he was there for like 4 weeks to have to get shots, and then someone had to pay for him and guarantee a job. And there was another German guy in Iowa that basically sent the money to pay for his fees and his train ticket. And then he had to work for him on the farm for only room and board for 3 years.
Wow, 3 years. Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, and the guy liked him so much, he stayed another 4 years, I think, and then the guy staked him money to get a loan and buy his own farm. And then he got lucky. He had 5 boys and 1 girl, and that's exactly what he needed for his own farm.
5 boys and 1 girl. All right, why not? What did the girls do? Only in the kitchen, huh?
Actually, one of my grandfather said it was very traditional German. Is that sadly his wife ended up dying of a burst appendix. But yeah, the sister kind of handled all the house stuff, and from what I heard, the boys worked and worked and worked and then worked some more.
All right, so what do you have on the nose? It's different, isn't it?
Okay, you saw we poured the Glen Els. Is that the one you wanted to do first?
Okay. I was at the Slurs first. I'm sorry, my mistake.
No, which one do you want?
You're going to lead. What do you? We got no glass.
Whatever you have in your glass, we're going to go with. No problem.
Okay.
Tell us. I get it. The first thing and biggest thing I get is just a grassiness or a maltiness off of it.
All right, very, very good. Glen Els is a place called Hammerschmied, which is called the Hammersmith.
Yes.
And it's a distillery that's been open now for about, I think, 12 years. And this is a very special, the journey means they're very famous for using finishes. And this actually is a blended whiskey from 6 different finishes. One was a sherry, one was a port, one was a Madeira, one was a Malaga, one was a Marsala, and the other one was a Grand Cru, which is champagne.
Wow.
So all 6 of those are mixed or vatted together, blended, and this is what you get the journey.
Wow. Now market-wise, would you say Germany and Europe is probably like the biggest market for whiskeys, both from the country and sourced from Scotland and everywhere else?
Well, if we take a look at Europe, actually France drinks the most amount of whiskey per capita, which I didn't know either until a couple years ago. And so if I want to get a rare and exotic bourbon, I have to go to whiskey.fr, France, and I can get something there. And in Germany, we drink a lot of Scotch and some bourbon. And most people in Germany would also say, well, the Germans started distilling about 10, 15 years ago. Give them another 10 years and then it will be perfect. Just like a lot of those new distilleries in the States as well. The source stuff was great. The new stuff is, well, keep on trying.
This is actually very very pleasant. I mean, it's not it's not really punching you in the face. It's not really, grabbing you and throwing your taste buds around, but it's very sweet. It's very smooth. It's very sugary, almost like a powdered sugar, and citrusy.
So Glen Els produces about 20,000 liters of whiskey a year. And the interesting thing, they also are situated in a tourist area in the Harz Mountain in the middle of Germany. And so they have about 20,000 visitors a year as well. And so their little pot still has 250 liters. And they use casks between 100 and 400 liters. So usually about quarter casks or normal cask sizes.
Now I see on there it says for a 43% blend, or a blend that's 43% ABV, it says non-chill filtered and non-colored.
Exactly. And the blend is just from it's not different distilleries, so it's not truly a vatted or blended whiskey, but just they've used those 6 different finishings and they put them together at the distillery.
Gotcha. So it's not a blend from 40 different distilleries.
All
Glen Els. Yep, single malt whiskey. It does. Harzer single malt whiskey.
Exactly. Harz is the name of the mountain range they're in, the middle of above Hanover. So most of the things we're going to try, Swami, tonight, you've never heard of. It's all German. It's usually not available outside of Germany or outside of Europe.
I'm getting a bit of like a sweet green apple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm going to add a drop of water, even at 43%. My personal motto is: you try it neat, you try it with water.
Donka.
Danke. Very good. Thank you. You're welcome. Bitte schön. So we can have a German lesson as well. I also teach German, by the way.
Beautiful.
One of my friends asked, have you ever tried the Xanthus from Switzerland? Switzerland also produces some whiskey. And Aquavita actually knows here the Glen Els. Ooh, hey.
I was going to say, for those that had just tuned in or didn't hear, we've got 3 whiskeys. The first that we're starting with is the Glen Els, the Journey. It's a 43% ABV, non-chill, filtered, non-colored whiskey that's been finished in wine casks and probably spent most of its time in the finest European oak casks.
Exactly. I'm laughing because the Germans have taken over your chat.
That's what Germans do.
Yeah, go Germany. Whoa.
They're taking over the chat, baby. Watch out.
Who knows? Maybe you have more German speakers actually watching than you do English. Who knows? At this time of the day.
Those German speakers subscribe to ScotchTestDummies.com. That's what I'm saying right now.
That's right. We call them
English. Please go to WhiskyJason.com. You can also then see my YouTube videos there. So that I'm putting out videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Oh, look at that! You're way more professional. I'm yelling out cross-pollination, and you're actually like really covering your stuff.
Yeah,
I'm goofy. No, this is delicious.
Okay, I'm glad you like it. What I'm gonna start doing also in about around Christmas time. I'm gonna start. I have about 100 different German whiskeys down here, and I'll be tasting those. And I'll be putting a lot of those also online in German as well as in the English. And there's not many people actually in Germany that have done German whiskeys reviews. So this is also going to be something new for us as a community.
Now, someone had just asked earlier if you were doing reviews in English, and I know the majority, as you had started, were in German, and you'd done a handful, but I think lately you've also said, or you've made more in English as well, haven't you?
Exactly. So as I mentioned, if you go to WhiskyJason, you'll find me. Either you have to click on the English version, or you'll find the nice little purple WhiskyJason online with my logo there. And Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, I now post in English, as well as my normal daily posts I have in German.
Wow. I was going to say, we get you really liquored up. You have to basically shoot back-to-back shows, one in German, one in English.
That's exactly what I do. I just sit here and I just hit the record button again and basically translate myself. Yep.
Beautiful.
Now, a question did come up about where is Horst Luning? Do you know Horst, or have you met him?
No, I do not know Horst yet. Who knows? His son Benedict and we have chatted before online, but with Horst, no. So sorry. And I can't gurgle like he does.
I was going to say, can you swish? Yeah.
Way above he's a god of whiskey. I'm still a little beginner here.
Foodquig is commenting, and he's watching. He's got the patented elbow.
He's got this thing down. I don't know how he does it.
I know, it's like a gimbal. He's got like a gimbal.
Horst has the patented swishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a lot of people that comment that there's some slurping on our show. We don't swish, we slurp, or at least I do.
Yeah.
I chew my whiskey.
Nice.
I learned that with wine, so I still chew my whiskey. I love that. When I start chewing, it's really good stuff.
Yes. Now, see, with the bottle of Wow or the bottle of Boom, there's a lot of lip smacking going on.
Yes, there is.
You want to move on to the Slurs?
Why not? So this is not as good as a whiskey, in my opinion, but
I pointed out, me and you hooked up early yesterday, Jason, just to test the connection and see how we were doing. And I told you when I got this bottle, I thought, Wow, he sent a whole bottle of the Slurs. Well, fill it. It's so heavy. When he arranged for us to get that, I thought that's a full bottle. That Slurs is one of the thickest, prettiest glasses I've seen.
That glass bottom here is really, really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's got these grooves that go kind of from the top to the bottom that are etched into it. That is. It's a very nice bottle.
Here, when I do that, you can actually see the grooves here. That's really, really nice bottle. Oh, your North Korean light bulb is better than mine. You get a better picture of the bottle with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. North Koreans are all about incandescent.
I don't know if we can say anything about North Koreans after this morning, so let's just...
Oh, really? What? I missed it. I haven't had the news on.
Well, there's more. Supposedly they've got a nuclear warhead now.
Hydrogen bomb.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been missing all that.
Yeah.
Wow. I've actually been in Korea, in Daegu, which is a mountainous region, but that was
a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it actually was quite a long time ago. But the mountains and the region are still there.
All right, so this is a Bavarian whiskey, and it was originally distilled in a building which has its roots way back to the year 767, which was a monastery, by the way.
Love that.
And Florian Stettler, he went to Scotland. His family had produced schnapps for many, many decades before that, and he went to Scotland and said, hey, I have all the equipment to make whiskey. Why don't I make whiskey? And he came back and started making in 2007 whiskey. And since then, they've actually set up their own distilling building, and they produce this wonderful thing called Slurs. Slurs is actually the name of the monastery given back in 767. So that's a long time ago, buddy.
Very, yeah. That's pre-Reformation. Way pre.
Well,
yes,
hey,
we have
come to
this
think of it real quick.
It's the 500th anniversary.
But before we move on, I just thought of it. What's the price range on the Glen Els, and then the Slurs? Also, where are we at?
So you're here for this 700 milliliter. We only have 700 over here in Europe. You're running around 32 euros for this. And for your bottle, I have the little small bottle, the 35 CL. You have the 700 CL. You're running about 68 euros for that. So always add about 10%. 1.10 is what the exchange rate is right now. So 70 euros would be about 77 then dollars. If you can find it outside of Germany.
This has reminded me of something, and I can't place it. I get it. The same as a strong maltiness, but a little bit of a sour maltiness.
Right. Little wood, like wood sour almost. And
it's reminded me of something else we've had. I just can't place it.
So going back to what Raster wrote, yes, the whiskey.com guy, Horst or his son Benedict actually did a tour of the Slurs distillery in Bavaria. And you can go online and you can find that. And it's very, very interesting, even in English.
I'm getting like almost on the nose, a bit of grape.
Okay.
Huh.
Now, is this a single malt? Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Bavarian single malt whiskey. So Germans love doing single malts.
Is there an age range that you know of?
They say it's between 4 and 6 years. So it's a no age statement. Whoops, I just lost your coin. It's a no age statement over here, and the same thing here. They did produce a nice 10-year-old Slurs. They have this wooden box, which is really, really interesting. There's also a video of that online by YouTube. They take this one piece of like a log, and they have this laser that cuts out the entire inside of this. So it's one single piece of wood, and they have the little lid that slides in there, and they have this 10-year-old bottle. It's like 280 euros for that bottle then, and the box is about half that price.
Huh.
A little bit of almost
like wrote it's a 12 euro. It's not the 10-year-old that they do that with the box. Yeah.
Maybe a little saltiness on the nose.
It is a little salty, isn't it?
Got a little brininess.
Brininess without the peat.
Right.
Exactly. Yep. So even when you taste it, it's like that, but it's not. It's missing the peat.
Right. It's like brine, and then I can get that grain bready, grassy, grainy flavor.
And what's our percentage? 43% on that one.
Oh. You're right. That's a different combination. The brine. Well,
it's not really the best German whiskey I've ever tasted, but it's actually one of the more popular and the most distributed whiskey from Germany in Europe.
Well, you're right. It's that brine without the peat that is peculiar.
Mm-hmm. A comment from Sam Cox real quick. He's got it highlighted to us, but he says, please get with Foodquig or have Foodquig on so he can tell you about his 30-plus-year-old whiskey experiences. Wow. We actually had Foodquig on maybe 2 months ago. It was a good review. We surprised him.
Exactly. I watched it live. It was wonderful.
But we got him on. But yeah, I just watched his review the night. He had the 30-year-plus-old samples, and one was a Glendronach, I think, on a 35-year-old. Is that right? I don't remember. 33-year-old Glendronach, I think, and another one.
Oh, I forgot the age exactly. But what I like about Foodquig is since he's on the West Coast and I'm over here in Germany, there's like a 9, sometimes even I think a 10-hour time difference. So I'll get up in the morning, eat breakfast, watching Foodquig live, and I'll just chat with him a little bit, and he thinks that's always a fun thing to do. And I'm going to ask him onto my show one day as well. Who knows?
Cool.
I'm going to pour just a little bit more of that.
Oh, so you liked it?
It's same. It's really a nice,
different,
light citrus, salty wood, little bit of a floral character to it.
Yep.
And I need to add a drop of water here as well too.
Has anyone noticed my nice little water container?
Your Norland's glass?
Yeah, it's
my Norland glass.
Yeah.
Every time I drink from it, it's like having about 2 inches of cotton they have to smell through. I just do not like my Norland glass. I'm damned it to be my water pitcher.
I don't like the noise it makes. You know, if you accidentally cling a Glencairn, you get that beautiful crystal noise.
It's very dump. It's just.
Yep.
So, Foodquig's going to go live after our show today. I might have to go on there and say hi to him.
Oh, yeah. He's always got the after party.
Yes, he does. That's great. All right, very good. So, Bavarian whiskey, an interesting thing. Maybe people can also write online if they've ever been to Bavaria. That's the typical thing when you think of Germany. Would be, of course, a lederhose.
Yes.
Driving Porsche on the Autobahn at 300 miles per hour.
In your
who knows what? An engineer, of course, right? Without any humor whatsoever. Did I forget a stereotype?
No, I think you're good. Other than maybe
you didn't mention bratwurst. Are you eating a bratwurst in the Porsche?
There's some wonderful
or currywurst. Yeah, bratwurst would be exactly bratwurst or with sauerkraut, of course, right?
Oh, you got the sour. Yeah,
you got me there. That's a good one.
I do love the sauerkraut.
Yeah.
All right. So Hoya Tempel was actually was in Bavaria last month. Very, very good. So I'm about 650 miles away from Bavaria.
Wow. See, I've got to get back to. Well, I've never been to Germany. We've got distant relatives with the same last name that still live in Berlin.
Yeah, so you want a picture of one of the coins in Berlin? Maybe I might do that one day. It's about a 3-hour trek out there, 3.5 hours actually. So maybe one day I'll go out there for a weekend with my wife.
That would be beautiful. Yes, take the dummies. The virtual dummies will travel.
Exactly. I'll wear the shirt and I'll take the little coin with me and make a picture of the Brandenburg Gate for you.
Perfect.
Now you won one of the coins, didn't you, during the 12 hours?
I did. The one that I just fell down. Oh, wait a second. No, it was the other one. So I have the number. I don't know, what was this number? I can't read your handwriting. 25 something BCB. I don't know.
Oh, that's our that's our initials.
Oh, okay, good. So yeah, this is. Oh, wait a second. On the back, I can read this. Is 330. Yes. So this is the 330, and this is the 87.
Speaking of the boom, look at this.
Whoa! What's that?
Look at that. Look at this.
I got mine up on the wall. I got one made for Bart.
That's right. There's one behind on the wall, and then this is gonna.
That great.
Yeah, this is gonna go on the set here. and I'm trying to get him. I want one that's going to be our 16-hour bourbon shootout, our 16-bottle bourbon shootout.
I was hoping 16 hours. Go for it, guys. Come on.
Well, we'd have to gauge interest as well. Bart brought up maybe there was some fans that would want one of those posters. So maybe we'll take reservations and autograph them and just sell them. So just
pre-order so we know how many are coming in. That'd be cool.
Sounds like a great idea. Boom.
Send us an email and let us know if you're interested in them. If we get enough interest, maybe we'll do a run of them.
That's right. We'll talk more on this on one of our pre-recorded shows too. Literally, I walked in and he's like, here. And I'm like, what? It was boom on me. You like boomed me. It was like a double boom.
I told him, I said, that's for you over there. And he goes, what, the whiskey? I go, no, that big poster thing.
Yeah, I missed the poster altogether and was looking at the whiskey. I was like, what are you talking about? The whiskey?
So if I'm counting correctly, I think Bart owes Scott a lot.
No.
Actually, it's the other way around now with the Balvenie Ton 1509 purchase.
Yeah, that's right. He. I'm sorry. You're at least like 3 good ones now.
That was good, and it was like difficult. Well, no, like 7.2.
Balvenie Ton is a little bit more expensive than normal. All right,
and hard to find. And I was healing a wound. I was healing.
Tom R. just wrote, sell the poster with a USB stick with all 12 hours of boom. I think that's a fabulous idea.
That would be cool. That's neat. That's a neat idea.
No, it's actually good, isn't it?
Same time, you were wounded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
It was hard to get. It was expensive, and you were basically mentally traumatized by your own droppage.
Yeah.
You're mentally traumatized, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, when you drop your own bottle and you're wishing it was the 15-year-old that you were also holding. That, sir, is damaged. See, look at that.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, you were like, ugh, it's painful.
Look at his face. Yep.
Jesse Voisin wants a poster of the Balvenie Ton 1509 crime scene.
See, there's an option too. He doesn't want to relive that one. Look at him; he's traumatized.
I still got the broke bottles up there in the tin with the crumpled up
and the dent
map of
it's all whiskey stained. Casks. Yeah,
and I think the receipt is in there for the bottle as well.
It's painful.
We'll do
you should auction that off.
Or an auction or something on that someday.
We'll auction off Bruno's pain.
I like that. So Whiskey Scout just also wrote, best meal in the world, Jaeger, Schnitzel, and pommes. That's French fries. So he had a schnitzel and French fries. I agree. That's some of the very, very good food we have over here.
Very good.
All right. Let's
move to the next one.
Let's go on.
The Finch. Barrel proof.
Finch like a little bird. Look at that.
Let's move that out of the way.
So did you still have the little tiny copper wire on top?
Yes.
Yes. I think that's very an interesting little, like a champagne bottle. You have to kind of unscrew it first.
And it's very stout.
Yeah. That's why they're German.
Say something in Spanish.
Well,
like from the our En route fusion review, where you kept trying to.
I'm sorry, but I've had 3 semesters of Spanish, and that wasn't even.
What?
It hurt my ears.
What? It hurt your ears? Oh. I usually it's shocking. My English doesn't hurt people's ears.
Yeah, join the club, by the way. I think who was the guy from London? That little VD or Vid?
Vin?
Is it Vid?
Vin.
He's what is his name here? Whiskey. No
nonsense whiskey.
No nonsense whiskey. Exactly.
Yeah.
He was on last night with Swami.
Yeah.
And I was typing a few things. He said, "I'm really confused with that WhiskyJason guy. He sounds like he's a German." WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American living in Germany, and I've been here a little bit too long. Yeah, Vin. Thank you, Swami. Vin. No nonsense whiskey. So he's not sure of my true heritage.
All I can say is the Puerto Rican in San Juan love that I was at least attempting his language.
Yes. Very, very well done.
I should be fluent.
Yeah, for a second grader. It was
Right.
very
Oh,
well
no,
done.
it's more like a kindergartner.
Very, very nice. That's true. That's right. All right, let's go away from Spanish. Let's get back to this one. Finch is actually made by a guy named Hans Gerhard Finch, and Finch is a bird, which is Finch, and his last name is Fink, and so he used the English word Finch. And this is by Stuttgart. If you ever take a look at a map, you'll have Virginia in the middle. I'm sorry, Virginia. You have Frankfurt in the middle. You have Berlin up over the east north. You have Hamburg up in the north. You have Bavaria down in the east, in the southwest, and then you have in the south. I did that wrong. Southwest would be Stuttgart, and southeast would be then Munich. And this is from that area, from Swabian. Swabian is how we say that in English, actually. So if you want to have a Mercedes, if you want to have a Porsche, they all come from Stuttgart.
Is that also where a lot of the airplane manufacturing is?
Actually, in Hamburg is where the A380 is assembled from Airbus.
Okay.
Where there's a lot of small and light industry down there by Stuttgart. Airplanes, there was the Bombier, I think it's called. That was also down there by Stuttgart. So what do you think about this one?
Very, very strong alcohol nose.
Yeah, you get a lot more of the acetone kind of coming off.
Yep. I think in the box it says it was also finished in port, wasn't it?
I did not see that. It is what, 54% ABV, and this is all in German. So it says port winus.
Exactly. So it was actually finished in a port wine cask.
It was like a kindergartner.
Port Weinfass.
Hey, that sounded actually fairly good. You have a good
See?
Mock me. Well, you're now a first grader.
Third grader.
Third grader.
So Raster wants to know where to go if you're going to visit Germany. Of course, you have to go down to Munich. You should go to Berlin. The Castle Neuschwanstein is also a great place to visit. The Alps, if you ever make it down to Switzerland, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's amazing.
Aqua Vitae is asking if you've ever made it to Scotland yet.
I was in Scotland actually once. That is almost 11 years ago, and I was not into whiskey back then, so I have to go back. Actually, my next trip's going to be to Ireland. I'm going to visit some of the new distilleries there, and then the next trip will be then to Scotland. I did the Bourbon Trail this summer, and so I visited in total 13 different distilleries and one cooperage, and that was fantastic.
Beautiful. We have to do that.
Yes. Well, tell us a little bit about. You want to do the whiskey first, and then talk about the Bourbon Trail? Or you want to tell us about
let's finish the whiskey, and then we'll do. I'd like to hear his view.
And then we can move on to some bourbon. All right.
I know what Bart's got in mind.
Bottle of boom, baby.
I'm all out.
I'm waiting for us here. I put it exactly over my right shoulder. So.
Yeah, you're right. I need the bottle. Wow, that's the hard one to get now.
A strong alcohol nose, and
don't forget it's a very high ABV. Now,
I almost thought there was a little corn in there.
It's actually 95% wheat.
Okay.
And 5% malted barley, so that's a very unusual combination there.
A little bit unusual flavor too.
Someone asked about something from Italy, the Puni. If I can take a look here, I can just show this real quick. This is an Italian wine. I don't actually have the whiskey. Italian wine. It's Italian whiskey. I still have a 30-month edition. Over here in Europe, whiskey has to be 36 months, and this is still called the Aqua Vitae de Cerealia. And so there's also the 36-month, which is a 3-year-old version, and it's very, very interesting and good stuff that's coming out of Italy, out of the northern part of Italy called Tyrol.
All right, so this one comes off a little bit bitter, but then I also get like a plum on it.
Yes, I've had the plum as well.
And it's, I would say this is the most uniquely different for me of the 3 drams that we're trying.
It tastes strong and young to me.
Yep.
It's like me.
I like it, actually. So the Beard is in the house. Hey, Beard. Actually, I was born in Erie, Pennsylvania, so not that far away from where he is there. About an hour's drive, I think.
Wow.
Bart, real quick, where was it at? Jesse asked if you made it to Cork Dorks last week.
You know, I did go to a Cork Dorks in Nashville. I'm also going to talk about the Corsair Distillery later. The only thing is, I know there were 2 Cork Dorks, and I think I was at the wrong dork. Because their selection was good, but it wasn't astounding. And then I asked if they had anything unique that I could sample, and he looked at me like I was trying to get him to commit a crime. So I asked him if that was legal in Nashville, and he said you had to have a special license, and the other Cork Dork store had said license. So they couldn't even let me try anything different. And but, I mean, it was a good selection, but I felt like I was at the wrong Cork Dorks. If anybody wants to weigh in on that. I was at the Cork Dorks. It was kind of like it was down in Midtown, which is where all the trendy, it was near where the trendy bars are and stuff in Nashville. But I'll talk later about Corsair after we hear more from Jason. So on this, what are some of the flavor notes that you would call out on this, Jason?
I totally agree with the plum. I do have a little bit of the port in there as well. I think that's what you have is your plum. And there's a lot of alcohol, and it's a nice, sweet. It has a little bit of that bitter touch in there, but I really like just the harmony of the whole thing, myself.
Yeah, it's a little drier, a little astringent as well, which surprised me.
The other ones were sweeter. You're totally right about that. That's maybe also one of the reasons I like it.
What do you have, Scott?
Tell me a little bit about your Corsair.
Well, real quick, I was just going to say, I was looking at comments, but just tasting this, this is my least favorite of the 3.
So maybe we have different profiles here for what we like.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty strong. I really get a young, sour wood to it that
do you get the
a lot
plum,
of young.
No. Because that is where I get that wine influence.
All right, maybe.
Add a little bit more water, bring that ABV down, and I think
then it gets really nice. I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I've just been neat. I just added the water.
Right.
So.
I think you're going to see it open up a little bit more. But it is very unique. I mean, right off the bat, I was trying to puzzle out what am I getting here. All right, so Corsair.
I knew he was going to talk about something.
If with your permission, both of you.
Of course, silence is something you hate.
True. Yeah, especially me. It's almost impossible. So, going to Nashville, there was 2 things I wanted to do, and Corsair was number 1. Number 2 was I went and saw a show at the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah. Both were phenomenal. First of all, Vince Gill led off, and even with a cold, he talked through. I felt like I was at almost a small venue of like 30 people. And of course, it's, thousands that were there. So that was fun. So then I go to Corsair the next day. I expected, because they're, I think, in 46 different states, I expected a much bigger operation. And I went to their main bottling facility, and it was almost quaint. It was very, very interesting. You come in, you walk into, and I can't remember, they've got a tap room where they also do a lot of beer. I was not there. But their main distillery, you walk in and you've got kind of a bar atmosphere where you can get mixed drinks, you can get things on the rocks straight. And then the tour started, and it was a small facility. They walked through their mash tubs and their whole process, and they go through and explain how they separate the what do they call it? I'm going to the tails, and what's the start? What's the beginning? Yeah, the heads and the tails. And then they walked into, I was anticipating a big warehouse. She says, we're going to go into where we store all of our barrels. And it was this small, almost like the size of a medium-sized garage where they had all these barrels stacked. A lot of smaller barrels, and they talked about what I like about Corsair, I think the most, even before the distillery, was their experimentation. And so they talked about how they like to play around with that, and how the founders had originally tried, their first thing out of college was they were trying to develop a biofuel for automobiles. That didn't work too well, so they switched to whiskey. And
Wasn't
then the other
also about the story that they tried making beer and it was more difficult, and so they went to whiskey instead. I remember reading something about that online when I did my triple smoke review about Corsair.
She didn't explain that. She did explain how they partner with a distillery, and of course they share barrels and do all kinds of things there. And then she did cover the logo. One of the founders, I believe they were in Ireland, if I remember right, and they'd been up very late, and they saw these three guys walking down the street. They'd clearly been at some kind of like bachelor party, and they snapped a photo, and then they had an artist kind of modify the photo slightly and create this logo. And they thought it was kind of the spirit of young rebellious spirit.
I always thought it was modeled off of the Tarantino movie.
Apparently it was early in the morning. They were having breakfast somewhere, and these guys came out of a pub, and they basically closed the joint down.
What's the one I'm thinking of, though?
You're
the
thinking
bank robbers.
Reservoir Dogs.
That's it. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs.
Mr. Pink.
Yep. Orange, blue, red.
Why do I have to be Mr. Pink?
I'm trying to read your nice little slogan back there, but I really can't. It's not focused enough.
Well, that's what I was looking at, see if anybody, and I hadn't seen any comments coming in.
Michael Scott runs what paper company?
Michael Scott. Oh, there it goes. Runs what paper company? Good question. I don't know. Oh, what
From The
quote is
Office?
that?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Well, it's for the fans.
Well, I don't know. I'm part of the fans now. I've become part of.
What happened? Oh, you muted it. That was good. I like that.
Yeah. He kind of punished me at the same time there. It was whatever he said, it was verboten.
Ooh, verboten. I like. Dunder Mifflin?
Yes. There you go.
So I think that was the One Glass Man wrote it first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dunder Mifflin.
Dunder Mifflin.
Did you notice that I did something?
Uh-oh, he got his bottle of Wow Wow.
I got my bottle of Wow out, buddies.
Good man.
You can pick anything else.
Look at that. No, we can't pick anything else.
Matching.
Yeah. If you've got the Wow out, we must bring out the Wow, especially if it's Scots.
So mine is 70.1. What do you have?
69.7. I was doing like a batch 11.
So you're saying that the man from Germany has his beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yours is that 70
was 69.9. Now I have 70.1. So
yeah, that's like batch number 6, if I remember right from looking online.
I need to get the
I
whiskey
have to look
Scout.
online. I really don't know, but I do have the 700 milliliter bottle. So I think there might be different batches for Europe than for America.
Interesting.
I don't. Okay, well, maybe it could be. Hey, you're gonna have to tell me what Michael Orman is saying.
Was he saying something in German?
Yes.
Michael Foreman. I have to move up a little bit. Wait a second.
Orman.
Was ist los?
Michael Orman. Ich kannte die Scotch Test Dummies bisher noch nicht. Jetzt haben sie mein Abo. Tollen Typen. Okay, he said he'd never known you before, but now he subscribed. Great guys.
Bam, that's mostly me. That's why he did that.
See, now you're getting German subscribers because of me. Yay.
Thank you.
And maybe I'm going to get a few American subscribers.
A German connection here. Oh, yeah.
Yes, we would definitely need a little bit of water here at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, now, Scott, I told about my great-grandfather coming over. Your being your last name, which I don't know.
My great-grandparents on my dad's side both immigrated from Germany.
Right, we can tell by the name.
Kronkes and the Brunows.
Wow.
Okay, Brunhaus. Yeah, that makes sense.
What's Kronkes?
Kronke. Yep. K-O-R-E-N-K-E.
Wow.
It actually sounds very Polish, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I was always told German. It could, maybe it is.
And what Germany used to have, of course, they used to have territories over towards the east, and so maybe, who knows? The other one, Brunhaus, would actually be, Brunn means a well, and so that would be well house translated.
Wow, well house.
Yeah.
I don't think Brun Sheen, which is my last name, translates very well.
Once again, please.
Brun Sheen, B-R-U-N-S-C-H-E-E-N. Brun Sheen.
Okay, no, doesn't really translate well. You're right.
Right. My wife, oh, that's terrible. My mom's best friend was from Germany. How did I do that? Mom would be happy. Oh, he called me that.
Uh-oh, Freud's going to love that one.
That is right. Freudian slap.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had a very good friend, Beata Fowler.
Okay, Beata, yeah, very typical German name. Yeah.
Very, yes. Her husband actually was over like in Germany and in the army in the early 50s and married a German woman and brought her back, and that's Beata. And yeah, she always said, your name translates to nothing in German. I was like, well, thank you, you very rough, mean German woman.
We're just very direct and very frank.
Oh, very, yeah.
Every time my mom's over here, she's just kind of like, I do not believe what that guy just did. And I say, Mom, you're in Germany, not in America.
Yes, very direct. Yeah, I literally asked her once, like, hey, what does brunching translate? It translates to nothing. I was like, oh my God, it's very brutal.
It translates to nothing.
Yeah.
That was a very good Arnold Schwarzenegger accent.
Sorry. Well, it means brunchy. It means dirt farmer, I think is what she said.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Oh, wow.
Although she got very mad at me when I was, and if there are any children on, mute now because I'm going to ruin their dreams here. When I was 7, someone at school told me Santa Claus was your parents, and I wasn't sure. Now, her son, Harold, was only 6. So I was 7, he was 6. So I thought, let me check. And I told him, I said, hey, your parents are Santa. And he was like, oh, no, Well, he goes and tells Beata, oh, Lord have mercy. She storms over to my mom's house. I get pulled downstairs and I get yelled at in a mix of English and German about how I ruined Santa Claus for her son. And I'm like, damn, Santa is your parents. She just proved it.
That was proof, evidence.
Yes, when she lost her mind, the only thing I knew was, damn, it is your parents.
You don't care that you messed up another kid's life. It's that you were right.
I'm German. I tested my hypothesis, and it turned out it was true.
Exactly. Facts and efficiency. That's all we're interested in over here.
That is right. And Harold is now like a very high engineer and makes 5 times the amount we do. So he wins in the end.
Did you read what Jesse wrote?
Yeah, Jesse just
plays the big talker.
What does it say? What? Hold on. What is it?
I really
big talker. Bam. Say that in German. What's big talker in the current German language?
I'm going to use a word. I mean, it's Großmaul.
Perfect. That's
big mouth.
Großmaul.
Exactly, like a big mouth bass. Großmaul.
Oh my! That's a new shirt. New shirt.
Yeah, we're gonna do some German shirts now. I'll help you with that. All right.
That's right. You help me with that. We'll make some shirts like my face right below it.
This is good, isn't it?
I tell you what, we're gonna be known when people hook up with us. There's always gonna be a sample of the Elijah Craig barrel proof in there. It's gonna be like the thing that we're known for. You hook up with the Scotch Test Dummies, you got to have the Elijah Craig.
Elijah Craig, you need to hook up with us. We are spreading the brand worldwide. Elijah Craig.
And I must admit, you're the reason that I bought this. I've had the normal Elijah Craig, and this was like 60-some euros, and I said, oh, it's too expensive. And you just kept on plugging it. So this is the reason I've now actually bought 2 bottles. And I've also been plugging it on my channel in German every once in a while, saying, oh, the bottle of wow. Also die Flasche wow. And people have actually bought it over here as well. So you're really doing them a favor. They need to give you a case of this stuff.
Elijah Craig, you need to listen to the man from Germany. All I'm saying is boom.
Exactly. The bottle of boom.
I'll tell you, honestly, though, this is still one of the best bourbons that I've had. I mean, that you can still find. You have to look for it because when it does hit the shelf, people are putting it out, but it's gone quick.
Yes. Who was the fan that said their bottle design's unbelievable because it doesn't dribble? And that is true. A fan said that somewhere, and I was like, you know what? They're right. That was a recent comment on an old video. So I was talking about how bad the cap was, and they said, no, look at the design. And that is true. The way it doesn't dribble any. It saves, it preserves the wow. I know, this is unbelievable. I poured too much, so I had to put
it really is a big cork. You must admit that.
It is. And then look at the mouth of the bottle. It slopes back in.
It's tapered, beveled. Yes. It's nice.
Yes, they apparently put some thought into that because you don't want to waste a drop of the wow.
Mm.
Oh, by the way, if we're being sponsored now, this is the bottle Lot 40. Have you ever had this?
Yes.
It's been a long time. We had that early on.
Exactly. So I think I've had like 25, 30 different people in Germany buy this bottle because every single time I've tried a rye, and I've done like 40 some videos about rye whiskey so far, I've always said this is better.
Wow.
And so I think Willie, what is it? Hiram needs to send me a case of this as well. So Bourbon Trail, when are you gonna go?
Hopefully next year, but we were hoping this year, but that didn't happen.
Break your trip down, 500 words. Give us the Cliff Note version. Walk us through.
A lot of color commentary.
I'll try using the words my mom described it in. You crazy idiot. I drove from Dallas, Texas to up to Lebanon, Kentucky, 12 hours straight after getting off the airplane the day before. The next day I did 5 distilleries. I just timed it every morning. I started at 9 and then 11 and then at 1 and then 3 and then at 5. And I had as many possible in those 3 days I was there, which means I didn't have a sample. What I did is I actually brought my little tiny sample bottles with me, and I filled them up underneath the table and took them in my backpack with me to the hotel room in the evening. And that's where I did my sampling. Most of the stuff I had anyways, but every once in a while there was 1 or 2 little things that was different. If I may mention one bottle that really surprised me, this actually is a brand new distillery, Peerless. And the problem that I have with this bottle is the owner signed it. And so I can't open it. And so what I have here, I wasn't planning on doing this, but Corky signed this as well as his son, Craig. And so now I have a so-called collector's items here of the Peerless Rye Whiskey. And it's a brand new whiskey, 2 years old, 24 months. And I had that also in the tasting, very good stuff. And now, unfortunately, I have a collector's edition, and no one over in Germany wanted to do a bottle share with me. Because what we're allowed to do in Europe is we're allowed to sell whiskey as private people. So I buy a bottle like this, and I divide it up into little bottles of about 5 CL each. 14 of them, I would sell them for that price divided by 14, send them with the mail, and everyone's happy. But no one wanted to pay $100+ for a 2-year-old rye whiskey.
Wow. Now I would still open it.
Yeah.
I had to sample, and now I'm waiting, and I'll see what I'll do with this in a while. It might wait a year or 2 before people find out what Peerless even is, because this had just gone on the market. I was there in July, and I think June 24th was the first bottle that was actually tasted, and they had the first bottle actually for sale. So it was brand new.
Wow. You tried 5 more glasses, a bottle of Wow. We'll get you to open that bottle right here live.
I'm pretty sure I would still have enough willpower to say no.
No, the Wow would get you. The Wow would
this one.
Over your right shoulder, there's a white box Macallan. What is that?
This one, the amber. This one.
Okay.
It's just amber. You have that, right?
No, we don't get the colored Macallan statements.
Okay, all right. So we had amber and we had sienna and so on. They were cheaper Macallans, maybe I guess for the it was the 1824 series, if I remember correctly. And there were less than the normal Macallan. Interesting stuff. So yeah. What is really interesting is also, I don't know if you can meet this at all. That's the Boutique Whiskey Company. Masters of Malt, you've heard of, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they do those little drinks by the dram, and they've actually started buying barrels and then filling them up, and each and every barrel gets its own little comic. And so this is a 27-year-old North British rye whiskey.
Wow.
So this is part of my lowland whiskey tasting in 2 weeks. So I have.
Well, I know Dave Worthington started working with the Boutique Whiskey Company, and we'd like to we want to reach out to him at some point if he wants to come on and do a live stream with us.
A good live show.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would be. They have some fantastic juice.
Well, we followed and with Dave on Twitter for quite a while. Right. So it'd be, and I didn't realize he'd gone to work for him not that long ago. So
Aquavite says that Boutique had masters of malt at different companies, but I thought they were both subsidiaries of the same one. He probably knows better than I do.
Yeah, he's also saying leave the colored Macallans out of the conversation, basically.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's what I've heard of the Macallans on that's the colored series. The ones that they gave, they took away the age statement and gave them the
little NAS color.
Oh, we just got a donation from Whiskey in the Six. Wow. Thank you, Rob. Awesome.
Probably something I said.
Yeah, it's because of you.
Canadian dollars, so it's 35 cents.
Right. Bam! Boom!
If it was euros, it would have been $6.
Yes, you Germans out there donate right now. We get even more.
Oh, great. So
we back to the whiskey or the bourbon trail.
We've
been talking about it. We know we're gonna do it someday.
Don't do it the way I did it.
I'm letting Bart plan it, so it's gonna be a while.
What are you talking about? First of all, you never told me I was planning
2 years, and then you're going to do it, Scott.
See, look at that though. See, that's the deal. I'm letting me plan it. That's the news to me. We would have done it.
Let him plan Scotland, okay?
Ooh, yeah. First of all, if I'm planning Scotland, I'm calling an indigenous friend that lives there and saying, tell us where to go. I offload the difficult stuff to the experts. That's what I do.
So he's good at delegating. That's why Scott's doing all the muscle work there.
The leader.
Well, we've talked about the thing is that we want to do the Bourbon Trail is close to us. It's within reach. We can do it, and it'd be kind of a test run, and we can learn some stuff with the distilleries, ins and outs, before we go to Scotland.
Right. And I think I scared you. I said we should make an open invite to all friends, and then I get with the lady that coordinates the Bourbon Trail, which I've talked to before, and we try to get a huge group going.
You talked to the lady that runs the Bourbon Trail?
She runs all the marketing. I'm going to explain that right now. There's actually a marketing group that runs, I want to say.
Exactly.
Oh, see. Here we go. This is true. This is all true. But I'm apparently maybe.
No, anyway. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Anyway.
No,
the lady.
Keep on talking.
I've been shamed. I've been shamed here. No, basically, my idea was to try to coordinate it, and then all we would do is find out kind of where we were going to be along the stop. And if the marketing, I think she's like the marketing director for the Bourbon Trail itself, were to assist, now you're talking more VIP tours along the road, as long as we knew what our group size was. And then I pictured, now this is fanciful, I picture us hitting those distilleries and then all coming back to the same hotel, and you've got 20, 30, Scotch Test Dummies fans, and we're all hanging out together and enjoying some drams that we purchased from earlier in the day. Would we survive this trip? Maybe not.
Definitely. So what you really have to do, you have to go to a cooperage. And so you have the international independent stave company where they make those barrels. That was really, really fantastic. I mean, after you've been to one distillery and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, they do start having a lot of similarities, but that cooperage was really, really nice. And to be honest, the thing that disappointed me the most was the bullet experience. That was a low light of my trip.
Really? Tell us more.
Well, you wanted to have Stitzler Weller, and they just said, we moved to the house of Stitzler Weller, and now we're going to show you all about our nice whiskey, and it comes from MGP or from Four Roses, and they were almost saying, we produce it here, and I asked where, and they said, well, not really.
Right. Yeah, it comes from Indiana.
Yeah, well, the rye does. The bourbon comes from Four Roses.
Huh.
Oh.
So, and of course, you want to have the pappy, you want to have the history, you want to have that. So what I did buy there was maybe you can still get the blade and the bow.
We haven't seen
that.
This
is actually with some Stitzler Weller juice in there. So there was some orphaned, abandoned barrels they found, and they used the Solero process of actually having one row of barrels and taking and filling up the half with the next row and then filling up the next and so on over 4 different levels, and so they can stretch it as much as possible to make these the blade and the bow.
Now I want to say Tom R is a genius. So he says Bart is correct. Let me reemphasize Bart is correct is what Tom R has said. There is a Bourbon Trail website, and they are responsible for the promotion of the quote Official Bourbon Trail. Tom R., I'm loving you, brother.
And you talk to the lady in charge. That's good.
Right. Email. Talk is figurative.
Okay.
We didn't like converse over voice. It was email.
But
I'm not sure she knew who we were, quite honestly.
Well, I'm sure not.
Right. She was like, okay, dummies. Yeah, sure. We can coordinate.
But we also, I mean, we've talked to, and we did a live stream with Scotch for Dummies, and we brought it up with them, kind of this dummies, even a dummies
Dummy Con,
a whiskey reviewers convention, and it was nicknamed the Dummies Con. Now they are on the Bourbon Trail tour though now also, but they are doers. That's all I'm saying. They're going to
You mean Doers Distillery? Are you talking about Doers out of Scotland?
No, doers is in action. Men of action.
There's 4 of them. That's all I'm saying. They're men of action, please.
So that would be kind of cool. We have a lot of whiskey fairs over here. There's trade fairs. Germany love fairs. And next Sunday, I'll be at the first ever German whiskey fair of just German whiskey. Wow. And so I'm going to visit about 20 different distillers and take my camera with me, do some live interviews and so on. And when I do the videos in English, maybe I might soon become the face of German whiskey. Who knows?
That's good. See, I've always wanted to come to Essen for the Spiel.
Oh yeah, for the one year it's in Essen, the other year is in Nuremberg. Exactly. Oh, that games fair's world, legendary.
Yes, yes. Well, they actually do one at Essen every year and in Nuremberg. Nuremberg's all the new games that are coming in. It's like their whole toy fair.
Yeah, you're right. So you know your stuff. Wow. But we have to change the subject, Scott, real quick. Come on, do something.
Scott. See, Scott would be like you. Scott was like, you made that up. There ain't no gaming in Essen.
I was going to say, bing, bing.
Velvet Elvis.
Velvet Elvis. Right this time.
The wife is Puerto Rican, and we've got board games, brother.
Bam! Boom!
Yes, he mentioned both already, so we're safe. All right.
Oh my God! Getting mocked.
Oh, it means we have to end the episode already. The live stream. We've mentioned the 2 most important things.
Yes, I'm out of all the information.
Part, but yes, Puerto Rico and the board games.
You know, unfortunately, though, as far as whiskey convention and stuff goes, we're centrally located in the U.S. We're
Chicago,
in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
And as far as, we read all about whiskey conventions and
Whiskey Fest,
Dallas, right, Atlanta, Chicago, New York,
Denver,
San Francisco. Where do you see Wichita on that list?
0.
Nowhere.
Right. But we could put it on the map, baby.
That's true.
Boom.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, we have in our state capital, Kiel, we had a whiskey fair that I went to last year, and also in Hamburg and Bremen. Those are all within about 90 minutes driving distance in the north. And then the German whiskey fair, I have to go down to the middle of Germany, which is about 4.5 hour drive. So it's worth it, actually.
Hey, Jesse, you're right on, brother.
Oh, what a Jesse. Something about me. He's mocking me.
Don't even look at it.
Voicing. I don't read the comments. Don't be bad-mouthing me. Claire the Third, come in and support the chief. I love that. Look at that. See, he even knows my board game nickname. My board game nickname is the Chief. That says it all right there.
Yeah, that is true. That's very, very good. So,
El Jefe.
How long was you in the States,
that's
Jason?
Bad,
and how often?
English.
How often do you make it back?
Okay, first, shame on me. I was not in the States for almost 20 years in a row.
Wow.
And
really?
then I came back last year, and I was this year there. So I've done the last 2 years more than the last 22 years altogether. So.
Wow, you just love Germany and their women.
Yes, that's one thing. And putting the whole family on an airplane, renting a car, having hotel rooms, and blah, blah, blah costs many, many, many thousands of dollars. And that's why it was always easier to say, hey, Mom, get on the plane. I'll pay for it. And we can go visit a country in Europe. And so she picked Ireland, and we picked London, and we're going to go to Italy together. And that's much easier and actually a little bit more. It's just très chic.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's good, actually. Bart's family goes to Puerto Rico.
Yep.
He stays home to save money.
No, I stay home because it's like they don't go to the beach.
Is there a beach in Wichita?
No,
Oh,
but
when they go to Puerto
Rico. Yeah, I went to Puerto Rico twice, and I was like, "This."
Bart thinks family trips are supposed to be vacations, and I'm like, no, they're totally different.
It's supposed to be fun.
There's family trips and there's vacations. There's getaways.
I totally agree. After my kids are now grown up and out of the house, more or less, so that's a totally different
All
thing.
I'm saying is, you vacation with me, you're getting ready to have a good time.
Family trips are not relaxing. I'm just telling you.
If you're with me, they are. And if they're not, I don't go.
And his wife takes care of the children. That's what he's trying to say.
First of all, now you sound like my grandfather.
Oh, very, very good.
No. But what happened in Puerto Rico was a few times I went, we didn't go to the beach. And we went from like house to house or basement. No, they don't have basements. House to house. And my lack of Spanish was even more evident than when I read it. Mm-hmm. And it was not very pleasurable. That's all I'm saying.
Let's do one last one. What do you think?
I will pour lightly, but yes.
Bart's got to drive home. Come on. What you got? What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Ooh. Oh, Compass Box rare bottle. I'm trying to get him to open one of his.
So, do you have some Balvenie there?
Which one?
Maybe 12 the double wood or 16 the triple wood?
No.
What
we got both 15 single barrels, the bourbon cask and the sherry cask.
No.
The 17-year peated cask.
Where's your water? I'm just
Let's stick with bourbon. Come on, let's do this.
The Makers is good. I don't know if you have Makers.
I'm out of Makers. I about picked up a bottle at the store earlier today. Matter of fact, I went and got some beer.
So much, it's gone.
He loves it so much now he can't keep it in stock.
How about you got Lagavulin 8?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not into peaty or
what?
I'm so sorry. Oh, you finally found my kryptonite. That's really
you're not into peaty. Oh my God. Yeah, that's going to be one of our future shirts. Is what was it?
Oh, I do have that one. Hold on, I'll go get
Classic Lottie. Yeah, the Classic Lottie's good. He's going to look for it.
I've got it if it's still any left.
I think my shirt idea with that was love the 10-year-old Pete.
Yeah. I need a new glass as well.
Or it was I heart the 10-year-old Pete.
So why did you guys start doing the whiskey videos? I forgot. I never actually remembered that story.
All right. Now this ties into the board games. Scott was over at my house. We had started doing, by the way, it was me that organized it. Just so Scott I started organizing whiskey tastings. And one day Scott's over at my place. I think we're like watching a movie and we're trying just some scotch. He looks over at this huge collection of board games that I have and says, that is stupid. That is dumb. How many are there? There are so many games that I cannot play them all. And I said, well, half of those were sent to me because I had a board game review channel, or I was with another major board game channel on YouTube. And he just kind of offhand said, well, we should review whiskey. Maybe they would send us some. And I said, well, if we're good, they would.
You are good. Come on, you got a couple thousand, 4,000 subs?
I know, but at the time it was just an inkling of an idea. I said, here's our starting goal. Hanging out with you, meaning Scott, hanging out with you drinking whiskey is fun. If 17 people watch, that's already a win. And he was like, that's a good point. So we basically, as soon as we had 17 viewers, we're like, we've already won. Everything else here is just icing on the cake.
Excellent, excellent. So I started doing it because I am a teacher from my heart, and I wanted to learn more about whiskey, and I couldn't have someone come over to my house every day and say, hey, Jason, teach me more about my whiskey. And so I started doing my videos. And that's how I teach, by talking to that little camera there. And I've learned a lot, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've told things that are absolutely wrong, and I've corrected myself, and it's all a journey, and I really enjoy that.
That's exactly where we are. It's a journey. I mean, that's why the dummies came up. Scott had the idea, the name, because we were trying to figure out, we're on a journey. We wanted to make it feel like Like people were literally right across from the table or with us at the table or the bar. And we kind of have a 22-year history that's natural and present. And I said, you know, if we can capture that, I'll have a little bit. I can't deny Brooklotti. I said, if we can capture that, I think it would translate well through camera. And I think, and we're both same but different, which is also nice. Would you agree? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Scott just says different.
We're different.
You have a great banter with each other. Just real quick, Jason Whiskey Wise asked if you tried the Slurs. Yes, go watch the rest of the video. Came in late, unfortunately.
God, this smells good.
We did. We started with the Glen Els. We moved to the Slurs and then finished with the Finch. And I think the Glen Els was my favorite of the three, honestly.
I do agree that has the best taste, the sweetest bourbon-like note.
Yeah.
This classic Lottie is phenomenal. It's like sponge sugar.
But from those three, we did move to a quick sample of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Bottle of Wow.
The bottle of Wow.
Germany, America, back to Scotland. Come on, we just need to do some Japan and some India.
That's true. Now, how do you say bottle of Wow in German? It's got to sound much tougher.
Eine Flasche von Wow.
Oh, wow. The Wow sticks.
Yeah, the Wow we actually use, so we could have said Wow, but that's not the same.
Well, it was like in my house, I grew up for years. I never heard God bless you. It was always Gesundheit.
Exactly. And I have a nice little story about that because when I came to Germany, I knew the word Gesundheit was, of course, German. And I thought, okay, that means God bless you. And I was in a church and I said to someone, Gesundheit. And because I wanted to say something nice, God bless you. And actually it just means to your health. It just means the word health. And so I was in church going, health, health, health. Everyone goes, hey, son, what are you doing? It's like, I think it means God bless you. It's like, no.
It means health. So literally just means like to your health.
Exactly. It just means actually the word health. And it means to your health. So you are not sick.
Wow. So the whole word Gesundheit just is health.
Yep.
Wow.
That's it.
A long way to get to health.
I was going to point out Jesse Voisin said that we should have left a couple of drops of the bottle of Wow in our glass before we poured the Brooklotti in there.
I have a little bit still in there. I have a couple drops.
Jesse gave us a good hack, though, one night with a peated whiskey and just take, even if you got a 10-year-old Lafroig, and literally just add a few drops of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof or another kind of a barrel proof cask strength bourbon to it.
That's true.
And it starts to imitate an Octomore or a Lafroig Lore, more of a wine type finished, heavily peated whiskey because of the sweetness of the bourbon coming in there along with that heavy peat.
Basically, he was saying you add a bottle of Wow to anything and it ups the Wow.
And it makes it good.
Ups the Wow factor.
Good.
I did a poor man's happy once where we put the Weller 107 and the Weller Antique, and they put some Stag Junior in there that give that extra oomph, that little bit of power there, and it was good, but not as good as the normal Van Winkle Lot B 12-year-old. That was the best.
You know, Jesse's been trying to get us to do our own little mixtures for some time. We are getting ready. We've got so many samples that have come in that we are getting ready to do. What are you calling them? One-offs? One-shots? What do you call them?
Quick hitters.
Quick hitters. I knew it was something fast.
A quick hit.
And I'm getting ready to film some of those now. Those will be just one of us. So we actually separated out our samples. And I'm even going to work in a little bit of my tasting process, which is kind of like I think I'm calling it whiskey mindfulness.
Whiskey mindfulness. Do I dare ask?
Well, I've been working on doing not necessarily, well, there's a little meditation, but mindfulness is just being present in the moment. And when I'm with a sample of whiskey and I'm testing it, I make sure the whole family is usually asleep. Sometimes I'll have some music on, but I limit my distractions and I try to become one with the whiskey. And I'm going to try to film that and see how well it works. And I'm going to draw the bottles blindly, so I don't know what they are. And I'm going to taste them and give just my thoughts and my instinct on that whiskey. And then at the end, I will read whatever is actually labeled on the sample bottle and that'll be the first time I and the viewer learn of what I was sampling. But I'm going to try to teach some of the mindfulness at the same time, just being fully in the moment of the whiskey.
All right. I do love my blind tastings where I take like 4 or 5 or 6 different bottles or different similar products, and I just don't know what they are. I let someone else sample like you do, and then you try them out and you rank them. And there's been so many surprises and almost shocks where it's like, no, it should be the other way around. Maker's Mark can't win. That's impossible.
Exactly.
But it's good. It's very humbling, as I think that's what Food Pig once said, Food Quig. It's just humbling and great.
Yeah, and it's part of our shared journey, really, even with the viewers, as we move down that quest, that, you know, as we learn. And I thought that this was totally Scott's idea to do the one hitter, right?
Quick hitter.
Quick hitter. God, I'll get it down. The quick hitter. So, and I think it's a nice way to look at the whiskey samples that we have differently.
That is very, very true.
That was just my idea. I mean, I'm not saying you're doing it this way. This is just the way I was going to approach it.
Yeah. Well, and some of my take on it is this: we started doing whiskey reviews, and we almost set a timer. We were like, we've got to be at the 10-minute mark.
Right.
Nobody tunes in after that.
Right. Well, we were trying to be more succinct.
Everyone
anti-Bart is what I call more succinct.
But the thing is, so we've grown. We've got a great fan base. People love the banter, and it's in there. There is some talk. There is some side conversation, some bloviating that goes on. But once in a while, somebody just wants the Brook Lottie Scottish Bar, the classic Lottie. Is it good? What do you get? Boom, here it is.
Yep.
And I think you're. Which
the
thing is,
a lot of have one thing that I can signify for each one. Go, oh, this is sweet. This is sour. This is hot. This is whatever, and that really helps me a lot.
Yeah. We've got another thing or two that we're kind of working on with a local distributor, a regional distributor, as far as some quick hitters type stuff goes.
We're always playing around. It's really whiskey fun.
Yeah. So even if we took, like we did the en route fusion yesterday, we released it.
Nectar.
And even as I'm editing it.
Yes, it's nectar, isn't it? Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's 21 minutes long, but even as I'm editing it, I'm thinking, what if I just made this like a 5-minute video where I just put just the nosing notes, just the tasting notes, just the scores in there.
Could be boring.
And released both. I mean, put out
both would be good.
Yeah, you put out the long one and you put out the short. Here's the quick hitter.
Sure.
Boom.
Sure. That might be for the future. That's good.
Yeah.
I know a guy that does board games that way. He calls them his Allegro review. It's a 2-minute burst of just what his thoughts are, and then he's got a meandering one that goes on for about 12 minutes.
Yeah. It's just as you're editing and you've got the 21-minute long one, you upload it, then you got to go in and just cut out, just leave the essential.
Sounds like a lot of work.
I know, it's more work.
It is more work. What I do for my Facebook page is actually I make a little 1-minute, like a little preview where I actually have a little bit of the beginning and I put a little bit of the tasting notes so people that are interested would go, oh, okay, that's something I'd like to watch or not. And it's always just 1 minute, or be up to 90 seconds. And it is a little bit of work, but it really is nice to have the normal big one and just to reduce it as much as possible.
Well, Jason, who's the guy that just said
Jason Voorhees.
Pootie Pie is starting to do whiskey reviews?
Yeah.
I commented on his whiskey. He did Japanese whiskey last night is what I saw. Like 3.4 million views.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he'll have distilleries sending him cases of whiskey. He's got the most reviews.
Review me, please. Here, everything. Oh, you want to do Pappy Van Winkle? Here's a 23-year-old. Here's 6 bottles. Why not?
Yeah. That guy has, like you said, he has something like 23 million.
While I'm driving my Ferrari here, we're going to do Pappy Van Winkle, 23, a 25-year-old.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's actually a 25-year-old now. That $5,000 bottle. Why not? Go for that. Yep.
Yeah, they'll send them those. Yeah, anything PewDiePie touches.
Hey, let's wrap this up. It's we're at almost an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
Wow. Time flew.
Jason, go ahead and tell everybody that's watching about yourself, where to find you, your channel.
Plug it, brother.
All right, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint from an American that lives here in Germany. I started actually putting videos up online now in July. I do them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in English. And if you come my Whisky aus der Sicht eines Amerikaners, that's the German thing. I'm doing daily reviews in German. So if you want to watch German videos, feel free to find me there. Just WhiskyJason. You can find me anywhere online, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Always WhiskyJason without the E. I'm so sorry about that. This one guy had uploaded a video 6 years ago, one video with the name WhiskyJason with the EY. And so he had the name, and I just go with the Scottish spelling instead, which isn't bad. I really enjoy doing these videos, and I hope to be doing more and more. And my only strategic mistake is I decided to do only exotic and rare videos in English, which means if I cannot find the video on YouTube, I will make it. And since I'm doing a lot of stuff over here in Europe that's not on or not available in the States, especially the German, especially the Irish, and some other things, you'll be able to find that. But I did do a Pappy series, so you'll find all my Pappy videos coming up in the next couple of weeks. I did not have the 23, I only had the 20-year-old, and I do a lot of blind tastings as well.
Wow, and Malta to Montreal said we were wrong. PewDiePie has 53 million subscribers.
3 million, exactly, yeah. I thought it was amazing.
He makes like $1.2 million a month, I think, or something.
I think it's a different generation as well. We're the old guys out here. Even when I started doing on Sunday evening now, and thank you once again, Scotch Test Dummies. I have started in Germany the live streams with the whiskey fabric of Germany that we're now doing. Also the live streams in German Sunday evening. And I now have like 7 different people lined up for the next 7 weeks. And that's really, really cool. And it was all because of you. You started it for me, and I decided to go for it. And no one else is actually doing this over here, or hasn't started yet. And they're all excited. Thank you.
Well, there you go. Awesome.
Well done. Well done.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters. You're helping us keep the lights on.
Boom. Should I scotch it?
Let's scotch it.
Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro.
Dummies.
Dummies.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Perfect.